If you don't want to slow down your gym progress, build muscle as fast as possible, this video is for you. I've researched the top 4 different training splits and tried each one of them myself. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what works and what doesn't. The first split is the bro split. This is where you blast a ton of volume on one muscle group per day of the week. So on Monday, maybe you hit chest. On Tuesday, you hit back, etc., etc. This is going to piss some people off, but this is simply an inferior way to train, and here's why. Number 1, you get diminishing results when you train above 6 to 8 sets per muscle. So when you do something like chest and you blast it for 20 sets or whatever it happens to be that day, it's the equivalent of just hitting 8 sets. It's pointless. For the most amount of growth, it's optimal to hit a given muscle group 2 times per week. So when you only hit chest 1 time per week, you aren't going to grow your chest as much as you possibly could. Muscle growth synthesis stops after around 12 to 24 hours or 36 to 72 hours for normal to advanced lifters, meaning you can make more progress when you hit a certain muscle group 2 or even 3 times per week. And while other splits may offer some valuable trade-offs, such as more time efficiency or less soreness, the bro split is in no way superior to the following splits that I'm going to be talking about. And I'll get to the best one in just a minute. But firstly, I need to talk about the next 2 most famous, most popular training styles. The first one is upper-lower, and this is exactly what it sounds. On Monday, you hit upper, Tuesday is lower, rest Wednesday, and you repeat this. Usually you hit about 4 workouts per week. And what's nice is that this saves a lot of time. In fact, I actually did this at one point in my life for about 2 months with a baseball conditioning program. It would have us hit, I think it was Tuesday and Thursday, 90-minute sessions, and they'd have us superset everything, get us in, get us out very, very quickly. And it was efficient, and I did make a decent amount of progress. But it isn't the best. When you look at studies, it only supplies 85% of the muscle gains as a 6-day split. And secondly, it's very fatiguing, and so it becomes, when you get later into your workout, becomes a lot harder to hit stuff like arms, shoulders, important muscles that you want to build, but it's harder to because it's just fatiguing. And the last split I'll mention before going into the scientifically superior split to all of these is full body. And I don't have to go into too much depth. We've all probably done this at some point. The 2 major drawbacks when you hit 2 to 3 full body workouts a week, although it's very time efficient and gets you into the gym, is number 1, you have to warm up all of your muscles, but number 2, it's very fatiguing. Okay, if you're fitting all your sets and all your volume into 2 or 3 workouts, it's going to be pretty hard to hit all of the muscles that you need to. Well, but here's the split that builds the most amount of muscle in the shortest time possible. The most optimal split on the planet, you probably guessed it, push-pull legs. And how this typically runs is you hit push on Monday, Tuesday is pull, Wednesday is legs, and then you run a second block, block A, Monday through Wednesday, and then block B, say Thursday through Saturday, and then you hit a rest day. And I'll explain a different way to actually do this push-pull legs. But first of all, why is it so optimal? And there are a few main reasons. Number 1, it's highly concentrated. So when you focus on just a few muscle groups, for example, on push day, it's shoulders, chest, and triceps. And on push day, pull day, it's back and biceps. So when you only have a few muscle groups to hit, not only do you get mind-muscle connection, but there's very little overlap, meaning that you can optimally really focus all of your energy in, both physically and mentally, into the muscle groups that you're trying to gain. And this doesn't slow you down, because the second point is that there's no overlap. By optimizing the push and the pull, you're going to allow your body to get the most amount of rest in the shortest possible time. And thirdly, this is a little bit of bias, but it's just a fun way to train. When you hit push-pull legs, at least for me personally, it's a lot more enjoyable than doing a grueling 2.5 hour upper body workout. But now there are essentially two ways to hit push-pull legs. They're all equally as effective. The first way is to squeeze it into a 7-day calendar where you hit push-pull legs, and then you take a rest day on Sunday. Second way is after each block of push-pull legs, you can take a rest day. And this breaks it into 8 days to fit in an entire program. But this is equally as effective if you need a bit more rest. This can work too. But there are two things that you need to know before you start this push-pull routine. The first thing is that you absolutely cannot squeeze it into 3 days. If you only have a short amount of time to lift, do something like upper lower, do something like full body. I mean, with upper lower, you get 30% less time in the gym than, say, a 6-day split, but you also get 85% of the gains. With push-pull legs, it's maybe a bit more time than some of these, but the whole point is that you can build the most amount of muscle. And when you split it into 3 days per week, its entire gain is lost, because it doesn't matter that you're optimally stacking the push and the pull, because you're only hitting each muscle group 1 time per week, and that is one of the biggest things to avoid when you're trying to grow your muscles as fast as possible. The second thing is that make sure your block A and your block B includes different movements. Maybe push A is more focused on your shoulders, and then push B is more focused on your chest and triceps. This is something that can work pretty well. So just make sure that you're not repeating the same workout twice, or else not only does it get boring, but it's less optimal because you're not shocking your muscles as well as you could be. If you're going to try to get good at something, you might as well go all out and do the best thing that you possibly can. So quit your bro split, hit push-pull legs, and you'll start growing muscle a lot quicker.